I was thinking about it when I was doing my morning workout this morning, and I thought, like, you can bend over and touch your toes 20 times, and you can twist, and you can do sit-ups, and you can work on your hand-eye coordination, and you can do all kinds of drills. Or you could play dodgeball for like 20 minutes, and you would do the exact same exercises. You'd be squatting down, you'd be running, you'd be jumping, you'd be, working your brain and your body, and you would accomplish the same things, but it would be a heck of a lot more fun, and it wouldn't be work. Why do you think people miss that? Why have we been conditioned to work harder than we need to?
I think that it's just our whole perception of being an adult, right? Like, I mean, if I'm asking you, what is professional, right? Like, people think that professional is, not laughing, not being outstanding, instead of except for having outstanding results, right? But like going for really like being, not speaking more than you need to, being like wearing gray just like everybody else, a suit and all that stuff, and and I think that also just the fact that, when we were young at school, we were in a class of 30, which is still the model now, which I don't understand why, but, it's still a class of 30, and you need to be quiet. And when it was playtime, was playtime. When it was work time, was work time. And they're very, very separate. So I think that comes from there. And also just I think that the industry has changed, and the what is asked of us has changed. Now, creativity, like, I mean, depending on your line of work, but creativity and clear thinking and strategic thinking is extremely important in most, leadership jobs. And this is not something that you can force. This is something that you plant the seeds for it to kind of emerge, and you create the conditions for it to be able to happen. And play is part of those conditions. Having fun and being able to relax and take a step back is part of those conditions. But I think that it's just that the world has changed drastically in the last 50 years. And I think that what is asked of us is different, but the way that we think about professionalism and work is the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. The way I explain it is, we designed this whole world and work system in the 9 to 5 when we needed humans to be robots in a factory.
Exactly.
That, like, Henry Ford, and it's like Nazi Germany and stuff in the 1900s developed the retirement system at 65, and a lot of these work rules, which is bonkers. So, like, that's probably not the model we want to stick with. But we kind of set it all up when we needed humans to stay inside the lines, to fit into a mass group. We needed everybody to be the same size because we only made small, medium, and large pants. But now, like, we have machines, we have factories, we can be a lot of different shapes and sizes, and we can customize to those, and the jobs the same way, and we haven't quite adjusted that. I think with AI, I've been talking about this a lot this
Yeah.
year, but with AI and artificial intelligence, we don't need a human to do basic regurgitation of facts and book reports. We need somebody to express and tell their story. Like, an AI can't tell your story. You have to do that. So I think every time we develop a technology, we kind of forget that we have to level up our humanity and go to that higher purpose of, like, loving and caring and connecting with other human beings. And, like you said, being creative, thinking outside the box, knowing when to break the rules. Computers and robots are really great at following the rules. That means we need a human in charge to know, ooh, when's that time where we don't go by the book? When's the time that
Yeah.
we break the rules?
Yeah. I like, yeah, wow. What you said, we have to up level our humanity. Like, this is so true, because again, I think that we're not keeping up with the rate that technology is developing. And yes, and I'd love to add to that I think up leveling our humanity is also about learning how to manage our mind. How do we manage ourselves better? How do we manage our emotions? And because I think that, there's a lot of suffering right now in the world, with the revolution of information and revolution. I mean, the information, like, and anything you want right now is, click a click, and you can have 90% of the information that you will ever need, for free. And I think that's a lot of us also are kind of go back to the structure and so on because we're overwhelmed, because
Mm,
there's a lot of thoughts and emotions that are conflicting and we don't know how to deal with that, which because we've never been taught. And I think that when when we learn to manage our mind, again going back to your thoughts are not the truth, right? Like what you tell yourself is not necessarily the truth. It's a truth for you and your body right now. I'm not denying this, but there are other possibilities. So what perspective would serve you best, right? And when we start opening our minds to that, and there's layers, and I really don't believe in the magic fix and so on, it's a process. But I think that then we can actually fully optimize our utilization of those technologies. But before then, I think that we're going to stay stuck and we're going to blame social media or this or that,
yeah.
right? To be like too bad for us and so on, when it can be used in a way that is positive.
I totally agree with you. And I think you hit on two things that I think are interesting. One is the balance between technology and our humanity, that I think we need to constantly reevaluate what's helping and what's hurting, and our relationship with it. And that technology is not bad. Technology has got us here where you and I can do podcasts for a living, and have a lot of fun,
Yes.
and connect with humans all around the world. So we wouldn't want to get rid of all of it, but there are all also things like streaming feeds and doom scrolling, and stuff that is not helpful, that's not making us happy. It's not making us more successful either. It's even with what we do in our podcast and your creative content, the algorithms are not helping you. You're helping them get more eyeballs on their advertisements. And so it's really hard to kind of understand what's fact and what's fiction when it comes to technology sometimes. But I think it's both. The answer is right behind you on your wall. Yes, and
Yeah.
yes, we want technology and we want humanity. We can't have one or the other.